flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everybody. And it just dawned on me that I don't have a recording secretary and don't have a clerk here, so bear with me. Okay, roll call on the board. Trustee Edry?
Here?
Trustee Ranko?
Here.
Trustee Bright?
Here.
Trustee Tudhill?
Here.
Treasurer Tricia Wigglebassey?
Here?
Supervisor Mark St. Charles is here. Clerk Sedlak is absent tonight. I got through that. It's not my usual thing, you know, nor did I have my list. Okay, with that, next item is approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda tonight?
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item is a consent agenda. You have the approval of July 16th, 2025 regular board meeting minutes, and the approval of the submitted bills list in the amount of $438,844.86.
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we'll go into department head reports. So I'm gonna look at the chiefs back there. Either one of you have anything you want to report? And please come up to the podium. Yeah, you gotta come up so everybody at home can hear you.
Just one thing for the fire department. We started today our new sergeant, Dominic Caudell, and he is our new full-time duty sergeant, replacing a sergeant who resigned a few months ago. So we're happy to have him on board. He's in training right now, but he will be through the training process and on the road in a couple weeks, and our overtime budget can't wait for that.
Okay, thank you. Chief, before you come up, again, with my trifocals, I missed the call to the public, first call to the public. We'll open the first call to the public. Anybody wishing to address the board at this time on the first call to the public, agenda-related items? Hearing none, we'll close the first call to the public, and that's what I get for looking at the computer screen and my sheet down here. Okay, Chief.
We're kind of in the same thing. We just hired somebody. They started Monday, and she's in the training program. She came from Monroe County Sheriff's Office with 3 years' experience, and Miles Teachworth, who's out of the academy, he ends his training on Sunday. So that's about it.
Good, thank you. Okay, Trish, do you have a treasurer's report tonight?
Yep. Just want to let everybody know we received I'm going to do the acronyms, QHERPP, which is the Qualified Heavy Equipment Rental Personal Property that was signed by the governor in March of 22 for the MC 211.9. Our assessor filled out a form for payments to come through to us, and we got $8,171.68. The state has let us locally know that we can spend that. We can put that in our general fund and spend it. It does not have to go or be allocated to other taxing units. So we can spend it working with accounting and Woodhill. We're going to receipt those payments. It'll go into the general fund. So it's a little bit, but it sounds like it took them a couple years to get to that point where they could start dispersing payments. So I think we'll see it more regularly as long as our assessor fills out that 5819 form. So I'll work with Christina to make sure if whatever that deadline is, but she's the one that originally did it back in March of 22. So we're preparing the specials for the 2025 winter tax bill. So we will be putting something out on the website to let residents know that any outstanding water or sewer bills or ordinance bills need to be paid by August 25th, so we can get those cleared out so they're not being put on their tax bills. Because at some point, I'm going to come to the board and ask to pass a resolution or a policy to add a fee for putting these on the tax bill because there's a lot of extra steps to balance those, put them on the tax roll. So look at that, but for the winter of '26. Working with accounting and BS&A, we've streamlined the dispersing payments for our tax distribution every 2 weeks. If I can tell you that any given day, even the easy summer tax distribution I do used to take me 5 to 8 hours to do, and we have literally cut it down to doing it in less than 45 minutes. So BS&A, as long as we're starting to use it the right way and learning how to use it, and Woodhill and accounting, we've really, it's benefited us, so. And we've also protected the account by adding a positive pay through JP Morgan, so now all of our checks that go out, if that check is not in that list and somebody tries to fraudulently get one of our checks, those checks will no longer go through because we'll be contacted by JP Morgan Chase, so. Two other really quick things. We're working on the end of the lease for the equipment, and as of now, we are only looking at leasing our workstations for the townships. Everything else, we're going to buy out, and then once it needs to be replaced, we're gonna go ahead and replace it that way. We've got some sonic firewalls. We've been working, Mark and I met with Man IT. I think it's gonna be really beneficial because it's a month-to-month where we're not stuck in 36 months of a lease to have those equipment. If something happens and they need to upgrade it, it's not gonna, we have to wait until that lease is up with our CSI leasing, so. And I'll let Mark speak to that. I think the meeting went really well. And again, it's gonna be more beneficial to us as the township.
Yeah, when Trish and I met with them, it was a good meeting. One of the things, there's a question whether we need the firewalls that we actually have now, or, there's a recommendation we could step down a little bit. They don't think that we are gonna suffer in bandwidth, appreciably. But if we do, it's very simple. We just call them and say, no, I want the firewall 500 back, and it's seamless. And so, it actually is better tailored for us than the 3-year lease out. Yeah, so it's still covered by the same warranties.
Yep,
too.
still same warranty, still, the security measures that we have set in place, so the township will still be secure from fraud and everything. So that was one thing that we're trying to work on for upcoming budget year. Mark and I just said it would be a really good, step forward in saving a little bit of money, so.
It's amazing that as we train our employees and ourselves more and more about cybersecurity, it's interesting to really, when you're aware of it, how much of it we are getting. The phishing's hits on us is just every day. I'm sending something to Man IT that just doesn't look right. And I think once they've sent back, no, that's legitimate. So there's a reason why we have to have these firewalls.
Yep. And then just recently, I invested $300,000 with Community Choice Credit Union at 4.25%, just for 74 days as a CD. And really, what I'm trying to do is kind of get back to what I was doing before, when I worked doing all the investments, is really working on diversifying our portfolio. So, and with Mike's department and Woodhill, I'm getting ready to do my first cash flow forecasting, so I can actually see what I need immediately and what I need going out for so long. So that's been kind of exciting, because that's the one thing I loved the most in my other job that I had, was the investment part, doing the investments. Other than that, I'm heading to French Lick, Indiana for the Indiana Municipal League of Clerks and Treasurers to represent Green Oak and the National Association of Treasurers, and to earn credits towards my advanced certified public finance administrator. So I'll be gone all next week, but still accessible to all the residents. So sorry that was a long report. I normally don't go that long. But I just wanted to kind of update everybody what's going on in our treasurer's department, so.
And also, we do start audit next week, too.
Their audit's gonna be remote next week, and then they will be in person on the 19th, once I get back to go over anything else with accounting and myself.
Yep.
That they need help with, but they have access to everything that they need, so. it should Go pretty good.
Okay, thank you, Trish. We do not have a clerk's report tonight. I have a written supervisor's report, but I'm going to go ahead and read it out for those on YouTube and for the minutes, because I know Kelly's going to be doing the minutes remotely. But first item is 4 Lakes Drive Culvert Bridge Project. Eagle has officially issued the permit for 4 Lakes Culvert Bridge Project. I spoke with Noah from Paragon Bridge, and we expect to have the full project scheduled by the end of the week. Work is anticipated to be completed before winter sets in. Thank God. That's,
Clap to that one.
yeah, that's a good one. That took a few strings, too. Wright's Farms, I think everybody's got on the desk tonight a letter, but an update letter regarding the Wright's Farm septic field was mailed out today. We continue to observe, as I indicated at the last board meeting, elevated flows in several of the manholes. To investigate this further, I've authorized the cleaning of the sanitary sewer lines and video inspection of the sewer mains to identify any breaks, separations, or perforations that may be allowing groundwater infiltration. Eagle also raised this concern during our recent discussion, so this is just preempt to answer that question with Eagle. A side note, if you travel Rickett Road in the area of Barnstable or the main drive going into Wright's Farms, I can't remember the name, but that whole area was Swiss cheesed with cable, fiber optic, not that long ago. And it is entirely possible that a sewer line got damaged. So this is just a step in that whole process to see if we got something broken. Township Hall parking lot, seal coating and restriping of the Township Hall parking lot is scheduled for Saturday, August 16th. That's next Saturday in 2025. Coleman Park parking lot and trail repairs. I've also authorized the seal coating and restriping of parking lot at Coleman Park. Regarding the trail repairs, due to an estimated cost exceeding over $10,000, I am in the process of soliciting some competitive bids. So we'll bring that back at another board meeting. The Greenwoods purchase agreement, the purchase agreement with Greenwoods has been finalized and will be included on the agenda at the next board meeting. And the Hidden Lake wastewater treatment plants. 2 of the new blowers are now operational at the Hidden Lake wastewater treatment plant, resulting in a noticeable increase in airflow to both SBR's units. A walkthrough is scheduled for tomorrow at 10 a.m. I know Randy and Trish are going to be there. You know, anybody from the board is welcome to do a walkthrough of the sewer treatment plant at 10 a.m. So just let me know. We'll get you in there.
They even said we could have lunch at the wastewater.
I volunteered to bring lunch, but Trish bowed out. But yeah, just let me know, because Hidden Lakes is now fully gated, so you just can't drive in the back way and go to the sewer treatment plant. You gotta enter the code to get in. So if you want to take a tour of the plant and the new blowers and the scrubber up there, just let me know. And if tomorrow doesn't work, just let me know, we can get you in any other time.
I'll make coffee for everybody.
Coffee won't be bad. Okay, with that, that is the supervisor's report for tonight. Okay, next item is correspondence. There's none needed tonight. All correspondence has been dispersed. Next item is a presentation. Introduce Robin Schultz, Livingston County ESA Story Walks. And as I've already briefed the board at our last meeting, I think it was Dan and I did, about the great presentation that you gave us at Sulcra, and everybody's interested.
Okay, good, thank you. And thank you to Cheryl for being here, and for Cheryl and Sue with Sulcra to connect us with our story walks.
Yep. And as I should, Cheryl Roysters are with Sulcra. Cheryl, we call you interim director or director now?
Interim.
Interim, okay. Well, we know who does the work.
Yes, okay, so story walks, and my name is Robin, and I'm with the Early Childhood Collaborative, the Great Start Collaborative, housed at Livingston ESA. And why we started offering story walks in our county, the third graders, and there's a statewide assessment, the tests that they do in the spring, the M-STEP, and just over 50% of our third graders are proficient in literacy. And we are one of the higher counties. So we knew that we really want to do something to support literacy, and it is research-based that talk, sing, read, that talking with your child can help boost that literacy. It doesn't just happen in third grade. There are things that are done over the years. So the story walks were an opportunity. Looking at it as a system-based effort. What can we do to support parents so that they can have that opportunity to be out at our parks, have physical activity, and also have the talking component and having conversation with their child to support that literacy. And as you see, in addition to just literacy, when you have conversations in that relational chit-chat with your child, it can also build math, social skills, and that can help children not just in school but in life as well. So it's a big bonus for families to be able to have that. So what is a story walk? Story walk is 16 posts in a trail, following a trail, and each frame holds a page of a children's story. So for example, this one was One Dog Canoe, so we have a page from the storybook, and then we offer an activity underneath, so that's where the conversation comes in. Yes, they can read this, but then there might be something, can you use your arms and paddle to the next panel? So something that they can do as they move to the next panel. Sometimes they're more open-ended. What would you pack in your picnic basket? To offer that conversational piece. So just here's another one. And then we do have some that are on more of these yard side signs as well. So we have these available. We have close to 20 stories now that we've been rotating in our 5 different story walks. Let me move on to the next here. So the process, a lot of this we already have done, that we have the funding, we have a grant for this, and we have the quotes on the material. Creating partnerships with the townships, which we've been doing. I will review a memorandum of understanding, the installation process, and how you would do that based on where you would want the story walk. We would order the equipment, determine the books, and we would have a list that you could review. The list is determined by our local libraries and also our Early Language and Literacy Committee. And then you'd have an opportunity to look at that as well to make a selection. We would set the date, and we can do a kickoff as well. We're actually doing one this next week at Unadilla on Thursday evening as part of their meeting. Sometimes we do them at 10 and 10:30 in the morning. We invite legislators, community partners, and a lot of families. Sometimes we'll have 60-plus families there, and we'll give them a book and go through the story walk with them. So it's a good opportunity to have your families go to the park. So the memorandum of understanding that you would accept this as a gift, it would become yours. It would be Green Oaks Story Walk at the park. And then who would install it? Sometimes we work with volunteers, township people, however you want to have that done, or if you want to hire it out to have that installed. And we'll have information on how to install that. There will be some upkeep. There may be some weed whipping that might need to be done. So just some things to consider with that, with the upkeep. The delivery is on a pallet, so you would have to have somebody that's willing to be there when the delivery takes place, and we would plan that where basically the installation would happen the next day, so it's not sitting there for a long time. And then whether or not you have somebody within the township, that I would bring the panels and you do the switch out, or if we get volunteers to switch out the panels. We try and switch them about 4 times a year, so that you always have a new book in there, so you can have families year-round going to the story walk. This just to give you an idea of the cost. You probably have access to this on that handout. that we would cover that cost, except for with the installation, whether or not you need help with the Quikrete, or if that's something that you would do. So it's recommended about a half a mile or less, no more, because we're encouraging families with young children. So no longer than a half a mile, which would be about 40 paces apart. We do have some that are shorter. We do have the one in downtown Howell in the windows is more than a half a mile, just the way it worked out, because you're going to different storefronts. So that's just how that one works out right now. And we do have the instructions for the installation. Oops. I must have. There we go. So based on our conversation with Mark, it was suggested Coleman Park, and I did go out there and I walked the path. There is, if you just do the one loop, these are not exact, I just went, and each of those spots is just how I was trying to measure it on Google, so it's not, there's a post in every one of those white spots. There would only be 16 posts. So it looks like it's about a 0.33 mile for the one loop, but you're getting to right about that half mile loop if you do the full round part without the cut through there. So, you could start at the parking lot, loop around, and end back at the parking lot as well. So I think that would be a nice path to have. I did notice a little bit of poison ivy, so we just have to make sure that where we put the post. And again, just like whenever you're out in nature, families just need to, not have their kids wander around too much off the path, because there could be poison ivy. I mean, that can be at Kensington as well. So what questions might you have for me regarding the story walk?
Robin, the poison ivy thing is something I think we can take care of. We recognize we've got it out there. Randy, how much is around that first loop, or is it more in the back loop?
It's where it gets wooded. It's in that back area.
Yeah, it's in the wooded,
Yeah.
I sent you a picture of some of it, but in that area, there's poison ivy there and around the restroom, around the back of it. Other than that, it's not too bad.
So around that one loop, the .33 is not as bad.
No, it's
No,
not as bad.
no.
If you go into the upper trail, I'll call it the lower trail, there's the upper trail that goes up around, where it's really, it's bad in there. Other than that, it's not too bad. It'd be easy to be a spot spray. Find anything in there.
Yep. It was probably only, I just noticed maybe a little bit just over in like this kind of area. Not a lot, just that I'd noticed it.
Okay. Dan and I were talking after our meeting, and we've been talking since then, versus using the Quikrete. You always have to think, well, at some point in time, those posts need to come out. And I've got some experience taking my deck and fencing down here recently. I got a little carried away with the concrete.
Okay.
I put that fence in. But how about P-Pebble? Using P-Pebble or some substitute for securing the posts in the ground?
If you think that would work for your situation, that's okay. I mean,
Okay.
we've gone with the Quikrete. We do about a half a bag for each post.
That's not too bad.
And because I just had somebody from Genesee call me, because they're considering doing that as well. We have not, the first one we put in at Osceola was over a year ago. And we haven't had any problems, because it's not below the frost line, because it's only maybe a couple feet into the ground. So if you feel like that would work to offer that alternative for concrete, because I know there was another park that was considering something besides Quikrete.
Yeah. One of the things that we were talking about when we met is too, that we need to get the signs just a little bit off the trail.
Oh, yeah.
For snow plowing
Yep.
purposes.
Yep.
If we've got a little bit of poison ivy there, then I'm thinking, just kind of thinking out loud, that we put the post in, we may want to just etch out around that area and then put some gravel or something in, so, because kids are gonna be up next to the fence or the post or the
Post.
book. You wanna make sure they're not, getting into the poison ivy if there's any there, so.
Yeah.
Just kind of
And that
thinking
would
this.
help with, even having to weed whip around it, because it would be just the gravel around it.
And I'm hogging this up, so I'll let the board members take it over, but I looked at this as just another thing that we can use out there to draw people there, and also, as we develop more things for people to do, there's more incentive for my DPW people to do more work out there, and a little bit more cleanup is kind of my thought process on that. I think it's a great idea
Yes.
for Coleman Park.
And then this is what we would have on our website. So we would put, I think, was it South Line address for the park? Maybe? Or we could put Green
I think that is
Oak.
a South Line address, yeah.
But we would put the name and then the picture of the story, and then it would explain where it is, a little clip about the story, and then where to go. And we also would have you on the map here. And each of these has a QR code that would go to this page as well. So we would always be promoting your story walk as well. Today, we utilized Day of Caring and had volunteers, and we went out to 4 of these and switched the stories today, so it was kind of a big push. So we're going to do a big plug on social media to go out to all the new story walks.
See, I personally like the, help with the installation, the maintenance, and I like the relying on volunteers to make the switch outs.
Selker's gonna volunteer to do that. To
Yeah, I know,
go get the book
I
and-
wasn't gonna volunteer you, but
You just did.
Yeah. You can pick the book, but we'll switch them out
Yeah.
for you.
No, I definitely think it's great, and you were talking about, like, when you get ready to, like, showcase it. I'm on the Whitmore Lake Chamber as well as the
Oh,
Greater
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Brighton Chamber, and they would even do like a ribbon cutting. And
Oh,
we
yes.
would bring the chambers out, we would bring out probably 93.5 HMI, do
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
a cute story, have elected officials, residents, promote it within our Facebook here, but also we can have them come out and we can do the ribbon cutting.
Okay.
It just kind of, it's a great kind of
Yes.
thing, because people get excited, and I have a 6-year-old grandson, and we drive around places and he sees those little libraries that people
Yes.
actually created themselves. And he had to say, he goes, Mimi, am I stealing a book? I said, no. You're
Little
taking
free
the book,
library.
we're gonna read it, and we're gonna take it back, or we're gonna give another book in. So I just think that the promoting of the reading is amazing. When Mark first brought it, I was like, it's a good way to showcase our Coleman Park, but let alone the promoting of the education, so
Yes.
I'm in favor 100%. So. Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. I'd be willing to help out with installation or whatever when time comes.
Same here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything that gets kids out moving
Yes.
and reading it's very.
I'll be starting my 15th year this fall, subbing. Okay, and in that position, I see the whole school. And I can't tell you how many times I could be in a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior class where we're reading something and I've got to aid the student identify the word. So this is something I think is so important. And actually, they're going back to phonics. They're
And
going-
that has cycled, and when they don't do phonics, and then they end up coming back because they'll notice.
So I'm all for this. I couldn't be happier with it.
Absolutely.
I think at the beginning of Coleman Park, many, many years ago, the whole premise was a community park. This is an excellent component for
Yeah.
a community park. So I think it's a great idea.
You know what, this might entice a certain party to allow us to grab some electricity too with some promotion over there.
I'm working on that too. I've got a contract now, so.
Do you need a motion then to accept,
Uh,
or what is
What do you
the?
need?
Because we still need to talk about, I think you said in the beginning, there's some logistics
Right,
to work
and
out.
I'll give you this, but I'll also email just what a sample memorandum of understanding,
Okay, if
just
you
so you
could-
can review that.
yeah, I think,
Timeline look like for this?
It takes about 5 weeks. Ideally, this fiscal year for me ends September 30th, and if it could be done before that, not necessarily installed, but delivered, I would, then I could use the funding I have this year instead of going into the next fiscal year.
we could do it one of two ways. We can get the memorandum of understanding as a sample, and we could go over that and put it on the next agenda, or I don't see any reason why, based on mine or the attorney's review of this, that the board, if the board is comfortable and wants to move forward, that we could have a motion with direction to sign the memorandum of understanding and move forward with this. It's whatever you guys feel interested,
I'm for
feel
that.
comfortable doing.
I'm for that.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion, we have support. Discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, motion carries. Robin?
Yes.
You send that to me and we'll move
Yes.
forward.
Yes,
Anything
thank you.
to spend that money during the fiscal years.
Yes, yes.
Have you been to Brighton Township yet?
Yes, yes.
What did they say?
They're in, I would say they're in favor. They're having their attorney review the MOU as well.
I got
And,
one jump on it.
But they, in fact, I have a email in my draft to send a follow-up to them where they are with that.
Already got in before
So,
us.
thank you.
Yeah, I
I
know
will
it.
email this, but just so you, since I have a copy of it, then you just can see.
All right, thank
Robin,
you.
thank you so much. Thank you. Very
Yes,
excited.
yes.
Thank you
All right.
again.
Yes,
Mark.
yes.
Good job, Robin.
Thanks.
And you don't have to stick through the whole meeting if you want to pack your stuff.
That's up to you.
It's up to you.
You don't have as big of agenda as some of the other meetings I've been to, but thank you.
All right, well, thank
If
you.
just don't
Thank
mind
you
me,
again.
it'll take me a couple minutes to get
You're
this.
good.
Okay. We'll move on to, let's see, the next item, resolution 12-2025, establishing early voting for all elections held in Green Oak Charter Township. Since Michael's not here, I guess we'll grab a hold of it. This is, he explained it to me as just a housekeeping thing. This makes early voting for every election that's held in Green Oak Township. And it just takes the confusion as it, you know, this, right now, we had 2 school districts with early voting, but not one. Now, it seems like they are now going to have an election, so this just makes it for every election that we have. This is a
That
standard.
makes sense.
Yep.
Total sense. Okay.
Sounds good. Mike's out of town, but he'll be probably happy to know that Brighton is not going to have a bond issue this coming event.
Yep.
Yes, he will be.
Are you looking for a motion to adopt?
Yep.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 12-2025, resolution establishing early voting for all elections held in Green Oak Charter Township.
Support.
That was Dan supported?
Yep.
Okay, just trying to get my notes here. Okay, so we have a motion and support. Discussion on the motion? Roll call. Doggone it. Okay, trustee Edry,
Yes?
trustee Tuthill,
Yes.
treasurer Wigglebassey,
Yes.
trustee Brake,
Yes.
trustee Ranko,
Yes.
supervisor St. Charles, yes. Clerk Sedlak absent. The resolution is adopted. Okay, now with that, next item is the safety campus permanent approach. I was going to put it up on the screen, but I think you can see it's better to read it than try to look at it on the screen. We bid this out, and as you can see, I'll go through my my item sheet here. Let's see, the driveway that we're using now was permitted by the Livingston County Road Commission as a temporary means of ingress and egress until the old Station 81 is demolished. That process started in 7/28/2025, and should be completed by this board meeting. It's definitely completed by this board meeting. All you see over there is sand now. So with that, the project for the permanent approach was bid out, and attached is a letter of recommendation from CES and the bid tabs. Funding on this, on May 7th, 2025, by Resolution 9, 2025, the board transferred all remaining unallocated ARPA funds to the general fund. At that time, it was estimated that the amount was $146,000. Demolition of the old station bid was $39,100. I'm happy to report it came in at $33,000. So we actually saved a little money on that. The remainder of the ARPA funds, it's my intention to use for the approach. And the balance, we'll have to split it out and work it out with both PD and fire to get this done. Also, what's not on the sheet is we still have soil erosion that we have to finish up with the old fire station and the entrance. Once the new entrance is put in, then I will be working with Livingston County Soil Erosion. I actually met with Mark Benson today, and we will then finish up any restoration that we have by the old fire station, making a parking lot. He thinks that's a great idea, using that asphalt millings there. So we'll finish that up. So we're on our way to finish this stuff up. But with the bids, you can see you have Chris Measel's recommendation of the awarding the bid of the project to Nagel Paving Company in the amount of $203,544. Now, Trish brought up a point today, and I need to bring it up. Two of the bidders did include testing where Nagel Paving did not. Based on what the other bidders bid in their bid taps for testing, comes out to about $4,500. You add the $4,500 onto the 203, they're still the low bidder. And Chris really thinks that for that short of a distance, we're not going to need to use $4,500 of testing. So she thinks it'll probably be somewhere around $2,000 to $2,500. So still, Nagel is going to be the low bidder, and we have used Nagel Paving on several road projects here in Green Oak Township, and they're a good paver.
I see they're also recommending a 10% contingency.
Yep.
Okay.
Chiefs, I know you didn't have much to say about this entrance. How workable is it for you?
For the project to get pulled out and put back in? Maybe I left a part out of here. Let's go back in time. Before we got the property for the police station, the new police station, we had to get that property from HCMA. Part of the agreement we had with HCMA is that there will be an easement for them to get through our property to their property and back, if they ever decided to develop it. And what we had proposed to them was a boulevard at one time, about where the curve is, and you'll see the easement that goes back to their property. We had, in the beginning, proposed a boulevard. Well, in discussions over the years, there's no way that you're going to take a lengthy fire apparatus, pull in off of Whitmore Lake Road, and then make an abrupt 90-degree around a boulevard, divided boulevard. So I have showed this to HCMA. There was no issues. They understand that process. So this makes coming in either way from Whitmore Lake Road, making a little bit, more gradual, but not as sharp of a curve to get in. So I think we've covered that aspect. Does that work, guys?
That's for us, but we got the cars.
Yeah, you got the cars.
Yeah, we can make it work. I mean, it's one of those things where the proposal from the county, the fiber from the county.
We need you to come up if you can. Sorry about that.
The requirement of the county road actually puts us a bit more to the blind curve to the north, or a bit closer to it, which is not great. But it puts us a bit farther from the roundabout, which, because of the way it's engineered, people come into very hot off the freeway. So either way, we're using our emergency egress for everything. Coming back in, it's fine. Going out, we're definitely using the emergency egress. Without the emergency egress, this would be a non-starter for us, but that's why we built the emergency egress into the roundabout.
Yeah, so that'll, we can make it work.
Yep.
Okay.
Mark, I would believe the county abandoned their idea of lowering Whitmore Lake Road though, too, haven't they?
It does not appear that's gonna be lowered. Yep, so it leaves you up, this puts you at the high spot. Now, yeah, it puts you a little closer to the curve to the north. Right now, the saving grace, with being closer to the north is not, you know, there's some people that come speeding down through there, but if you do, you're probably tearing your wheels and your front end off your car because of the condition of Whitmore Lake Road, which was gonna be part of my supervisor's report, but that appears to be getting fixed next year. So speeds will pick up, but,
I mean, they bounced us around like crazy in planning this all the time. They were gonna lower it 7 feet, 5 feet. And we were making all kinds of adjustments to everything, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden they just dropped it.
yeah, but this is the last piece of the puzzle. At least we're getting this project done. That portion, get the county done. Get soil erosion taken care of with the exception of a couple other items we have, but this gets that portion of it done right there. We sent out, we had 9 bidders that we had identified. We had 5 make comments, ask questions, and 3 submitted bids. So that seems to be par for the course now, trying to get work. This is, $200,000 seems like a big amount, but in the scheme of projects, this is a fly-spec job.
Okay.
Want a motion?
Yeah, I need a motion to accept the engineer's recommendation and award the contract to Nagel Paving in the amount of $203,544.
So moved. Made it easy.
I'm just checking one thing. Can you modify that according to the engineer's report, our recommendation of a 10% contingency for this budget, which would take the total to $223,898.40.
So, okay.
That agreeable?
Agreeable.
Okay. With that, any discussion on the motion? Hearing none because of the amount, geez, I get to do roll calls again. Trustee Edry,
Yes.
trustee Tudhill,
Yes.
treasurer Wiggles-Bazey,
Yes.
trustee Ranco,
Yes.
trustee Brake,
Yes.
and supervisor St. Charles, yes. Clerk Sedlak is absent. The motion passes. I will let Chris know to get all the documents ready and move forward. Okay, thank you. Boy, I'm gonna call on Trish on this next one.
What?
Oh,
Yes, you are the spearheader on this.
No, I am not. Well, I mean, spearheading is in, it hasn't been redone in a very long time, and now that I am here, they're saying it's because of me, but it's really not. It just need to be updated. So, included in the packet is the policy and procedure manual. I can tell you right now, this has been a year and a half in the making, if not. I think Sue was still here when, the reconstruction of this kind of was happening. When I say reconstruction, it's not, the whole thing wasn't redone, but a lot of things need to be updated. And finally working through everything, and then when ESTA came through with the, Earned Sick Time Act, and we had to wait till that, because February dates, we finally got to a point where all the verbiage and Personnel Committee with HR, came to the understanding where we think this is good. Of course, it could be a working document that might need to be fixed if something else comes through. But I know some of the biggest things, and Mark, you can speak to this, is we worked on the overtime and compensation and callback time, emergency office calling, office closing, The holiday pays, especially since we went to 410s.
Yep.
We worked on a lot of that. The township vehicles, because it kind of came up that we sometimes do share riding with other municipalities, and in our old policy, it said only township employees could be in the vehicle. But when other municipalities want to share the mileage cost, or Mark takes somebody from, one of our residents that wants to go look at, a piece of property and they just show up here, or we're going in, different township vehicles. So we wanted to make sure we protect ourselves not only for liability purposes, that it was spelled out, and we basically said, if it's a non-township employee, you have to talk to your supervisor at that point to get approval. We talked about a few other things, a vacation payout, PTO payout,
Election day. How
that works.
tuition
It's-
reimbursement. I mean,
Yep.
there was, this thing actually, I think Trish is being kind. She came in at the tail end of this. I think we started on this maybe 2012, 2015.
Yeah.
It's been a work in progress. And it's funny because, I think any of us that work with documents like this, you can sit there and look at it until you're blue in the face.
Yeah.
You get a final document, you put it on the agenda for the board packet, and the first thing I open up, and I says, oh crap, there's something we all missed. And it was a carryover from the previous one. So, it's a living document, and there's maybe a couple tweaks we're gonna have to make, but this brings it up, especially with the changes in all the laws. It brings it up into today's standards. A lot of definitions we went through, I had to clean up a lot of them.
I think one of the biggest things that we did talk about too was especially driving the work vehicles. I think one of the things that we added in, I think it was section, well, it might be 8, I'm not sure, but technically that, they have to have a driving record that meets the township standards. If they have any type of violations or something happens, even throughout their working here at the township, like, they technically need to report it, but at any point, I think, speaking with Rob, I think Rob was the one that kind of worked with us and Chief, that if we need to check, a driving record to make sure that there are no restrictions. But we are telling the employees that it's really their responsibility to just say, okay, by the way, I've got 5 reckless driving tickets on my record, kind of thing that's happened since they worked here. And again, it just protects us in a liability aspect of people driving our vehicles.
Yeah, and as you thumb through it, there's a lot of things that, we had even some of the stuff like anti-harassment in the old one, but the laws have changed so much that we've had to update it. One, as much as, it doesn't sound like much, but the Pump Act. For women with children, I mean, employees with
Would have
children.
thought of that 20 years ago.
So, I mean, there's just a lot of this stuff that, when you were looking at the old 2006 one, no, that's a long time ago. 19 years is a little long, so.
I
think
found it
if we-
interesting.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go.
no, I just have one minor thing.
Yep.
I think it's very thorough, I think it's very good. It's easy to read. The definition of your work week doesn't coincide with the definition of the work week under payroll procedures. They're two different definitions.
You send me that in an email?
Yes.
And we'll take it to and that's what I want to point out.
Because
Anybody
it's a
have
little
any-
thing, but it could lead to a big thing,
Yes.
being that it's.
We call it loopholes nowadays because we've been figuring out there's quite a bit of them, so.
I would like to get this approved,
Yep.
but I would encourage anybody that finds anything like
That's
that's a
the only
great point.
thing, and like I said, it could be a very minor thing, but it could lead to a very big thing, right? Because the definition is different than how it's defined in the document.
I've got 3 things. First of all, when I was with Garden City, and I hired a lot of people through the CETA program, okay? And every applicant that I thought I was going to hire, I put it through the police department for their record. Are we doing that now? I mean, I know you do it with your employees, but how about the employees that we hire around?
What is that? I was looking at.
Do we, will we
Unless
get an
if they do a
Background
background
check.
check on our
background check for
employees
the
that we
employees?
hire.
Yeah, HR does.
But
I
do
do
they,
know
do they
that-
contact the chief to run a look at their record?
Ecto has done all of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Background checks, oh, yeah.
Okay. And then, and the second thing, seems we're in a blue jean era right now. The biggest kick I got out of it is, you could say, you could date this because people aren't allowed to wear jeans with holes in them and.
Or pajamas, because that was a thing when I first started here,
Oh,
not
yeah.
that I wore them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had to spell it out, so there wasn't a loophole.
And one of the things I picked out right off the bat, section 2.3, so I'll be making this suggestion, is the Personnel Committee. And, Personnel Committee will be composed of 3 elected members of the Township Board. Appointments are for 2-year terms and run concurrent with the fiscal year. Well, I looked, when was the last time we appointed anybody to the Personnel Committee? I can't find it. So, I do, unless anybody objects, and we'll talk about this, is since, the treasurer, clerk, and the supervisor are here almost every day, that is the logical choice for a personnel committee. So, yes, there's a tweak, and I think it's just a few words that need to be changed. I talked to Kirsty about it, but, yeah, this was a carryover from the last one.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, again, I think, yeah, as we read it, and the thing about it is, I've read this so many times, and I glanced over that so many times, and it didn't hit. So having numerous people look at this helps. So please give us your comments, if that's the wishes of the board, or if you wish, we can review it again and then bring it back, but I'd like to get it going.
I think 2.6 kind of covers that, where the policy and procedures contained in the manual can be changed by a motion of the Green Oak Board.
Right.
And employees and even obviously board members can submit suggestions and
Right.
get those changes put. So I think if we approve this right now, and Tracy, if you want to
I'll
be
send
that
it to you.
person, to say I approve it, but with the different recommendations and changes that might need to be done, I would say maybe just approve it with that.
So moved.
Okay?
Second.
Okay, we have
Oh, well,
support.
can I second being?
Yeah?
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Well, thank you. Wow, that's amazing to get that done. Okay, with that, discussion items, do we have any discussion items we need tonight?
Just one question. I saw on the list of bills, there was a amount paid for a trailer company. Did you buy that little small trailer you were talking
Yes.
about? Cool.
Got it?
He picked it up today?
Picked it up today. We gotta get license plates on it, but I guess I'll have to wait till Monday to get
Good idea.
license plates. I think he's back then. But no, we've got it. So, okay. Committee reports. Anybody have any committee reports today? Okay, hearing none, no executive session tonight. We'll open the last call to the public. Seeing no response, we'll close call to the public, and at this time, we stand adjourned.